costs almost £2,500 per person. So with a family of 4, say a spouse and 2 children, that could cost almost £10,000. So it's an awful lot of money for a family to expect to have to pay in order to stay in a country which they've often sacrificed a great deal to serve and relocated to serve. So the Royal British Legion is calling on the government to abolish those fees.
And what kind of impact are these charges having on the veterans that you speak to? As you say, it's quite a lot of money.
People in the armed forces community have been left struggling. So we had cases where a member of the Commonwealth who'd left the armed forces put the fees onto their credit card. They then defaulted on the credit card payment, they couldn't pay their rent, and they ended up living in their car. We've had cases of where families have been split up because someone's had to go back to the country that they came from, such as in Joe's family, but the rest of the family have now settled and are in school and have jobs. So it can have a really devastating impact on the lives of the people this is affecting.
Joe Cokanasiga in training for England and in action for his club side Bath. He first discovered his love for the sport when he joined his father Elatia on the pitch as part of an army side. But the family was separated when Elatia was forced to return to Fiji despite 14 years' service in the army.
He kind of felt betrayed. I think that's one of the words that pop out. But like he'd invested a lot of his life and our life. My whole life was pretty much army. And then to be treated like that, it's you kind of think to yourself, oh, was that all worth it?
And what did it mean for you and the family when your father actually had to go back to Fiji, which meant obviously you couldn't be together?
What made it a lot harder was my mum was going through her brain tumor treatment, so it made it a lot harder with the family being apart. But and then obviously with COVID and stuff, we couldn't really be together, so it made it a lot harder. But stuff like that just makes the whole family stronger.
And in fact, it partly your own experience and through realizing there is others in a similar situation that's persuaded you to get behind this campaign.
At first, we wanted to keep it private because we're quite a private family, and then we found out there was other families going for the same thing, and I felt I was obliged to kind of help push and be that voice for everyone else.
A government spokesperson said the Home Office and Ministry of Defence work closely with our non-UK recruits to make sure they're fully aware of how they and their families can settle in the UK and the costs involved. The Ministry of Defence also said they're launching a public consultation to offer greater flexibility to serving personnel in the future. But the Legion say they think the visa fees are unfair and they urge the government to take action. Rosie Layden, Forces News.